I'm Kyle from the Shift Open Finance community, and today I'm joined with Andreea, the founder of Squirrel, and our latest investment for our Ignite program. Let's go straight into it. Tell us a bit about yourselves and tell us a bit about Squirrel.
I'm Andreea. I've been working in tech for nearly 10 years now. I actually fell into it by accident. I retrained as a project manager and then never looked back. Proper nerd and a serial problem solver. And now I am founder of Squirrel. Squirrel is a platform that will actually help business owners like me, SMEs all across the UK, automatically distribute incoming payments into an interest-paying savings account. So, for example, splitting aside for VAT and any taxes and all of that sort of stuff, building up a cash buffer and turning it into passive income.
That's amazing. Okay, awesome. So that's what Squirrel is. You're helping SMEs manage their money. It's going to come in, go straight to savings account. They're ready for VAT and they're going to earn interest on it in the meantime.
Yes.
Now, pretty awesome idea. And everyone's a bit like, gosh, why aren't I doing that already? Or if they are, they're going through this awful manual process. Yeah. So where did the idea come from?
The awful manual process that I was doing, running my consultancy business. Now, running a consultancy business, especially if it's a small business, fairly straightforward finances, right? That's a given. I know not every business cash flow management is complex. Not every business is that simple. Yep. But for when I was running my consultancy, every time an invoice was paid, I'd do a little jig, love invoice day, and then I would straight away take the VAT element and another 20% and manually move it into an interest-paying separate savings account.
Which is very wise. You earn interest on it.
Right. Really. That's my one claim to wisdom there. But it just seemed like sensible stuff. And I never actually had like an accountant tell me that that's what I should do. I know some definitely do give that advice and stuff. It just seemed sensible. And especially now when budgets are so tight. The more I was doing this, pretty low volumes, pretty simple maths and transactions to manage. I just kept thinking at volume for more complex businesses, either they're not doing it, it's a pain in the bum, or it's just forgotten about, which is worse. And because the problem solver in me would just like, there's got to be an automation that's the same proportion for me every time. Like it's pretty easy to split. And I obviously chatted to my developer friends, as you do. And I actually wondered if somewhere outside of the UK was already doing this because of the kind of technical debt that we have with some of the older banks or the more established ones. The neobanks are doing great things. I just thought somewhere in the world, this is probably already happening. I'll never be able to use it, but at least I'll know. Right? And we couldn't find it. So then we built it.
Amazing. That's really good. It's what you want to hear, isn't it? And especially having you on our program now, we've really seen yourself and the company as a really exciting thing we're passionate to get involved with. I know it's been a long process, so there's a lot of applicants, a lot of interviews, but we got there in the end. And we chose you purely for that reason. You're passionate, you're tenacious. We have a lot of faith in you, but also the business idea is incredible. Everyone needs it, and it's going to help so many SMEs out there. So if I flick it back on you, that's why we chose you. How did you come across Ignite, and why did you choose us?
So we're at the Dreams Factory, which is where you and I didn't quite meet, but met sort of for the first time. And it was back in April. I saw an event that Female Founders Rise were running here. It seemed super relevant. I nearly didn't go, but someone introduced me to someone who was on the panel, and I thought, oh, fantastic. At least I'll be able to chat with Andy, who's on the panel, if I turn up face to face. And I'd had a really, really long day, and I just couldn't people when I got here. So I actually did a very un-me thing, and I didn't speak to anyone that night. I just absorbed everything that was there, and then saw your post the next day about open finance mentioning this event. And we got chatting, and then you mentioned Shift, and it seemed a really perfect kind of group to be part of. And then Ignite came up, and honestly, the thing that stood out this past year is it's been very rare for me to feel like I'm in the right room talking to the right people about Squirrel. So loads of people get it, and actually I don't really pitch it to people. I just tell them about what we're doing, and the business owners, you see their eyes light up. They're like, oh yeah, I get it. I didn't realize what a problem it is. I do now. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So in that sense, but being in the right room with the right people, that was what felt right. And that was the appeal. And I'm very selective. I'm really picky.
That's good to hear. We tried to make it attractive, focused on fintech, only one at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm basically dedicated to you now, which is going to be an exciting journey.
But I didn't know all of that when it first really came up. So actually those were extra tick boxes, which I've not really come across before. So I've come across specific fintech accelerators or programs. Most of them are further along than we are, which, is fair enough, but certainly not ones that are dedicated. And because I'm so picky, it's a big deal that it's tailored. Yeah. But it feels like it's the right fit already,
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's awesome to hear. And again, focusing on that specialization, we're a good fit because we're open finance community. That's our focus. Now, your product would have always had to be manual for the past few years, but then open banking came along and has made Money Squirrel a possibility to automatically sweep that money. So that's what you can do today. But looking in the future for open finance, how's that going to change your proposition in the future, and how could that benefit it?
So we were talking about the distinction between open banking and open finance. Open banking is great right now for what we're trying to do, just for MVP, so just for the product that we're launching with, which will take the manual and turn it automatic and still be a big value add to people like me, who even at low volumes, you're de-risking it and you turn it into passive income. Fantastic, tick, tick, great. But the thing that kind of keeps me working on this isn't what's essentially a macro on steroids. It is. Yeah. That's not the thing that gets me excited. The thing that gets me excited, and it sounds like a strap line, but I believe it, and it gives me goosebumps still. I want Money Squirrel in time to help educate and empower businesses like mine do more with our hard-earned cash. And I do say our, because this isn't just theoretical for other people to use. This is something that I want to be using for myself. And that's the difference between the open banking functionality that's possible right now, to link up the accounts and make that transfer over. It's limited, but it's possible, and it will work for what we need it to. And then open finance will mean that we can expand that out. So it's not just current and savings accounts. It's what else is possible to do that. Educate and empower me as a business owner to do more with my cash. As an individual, I've got a plethora of products to lean on, right? If I wanted to go into investments, if I wanted to do something low risk, high risk, there's 1,000,001 apps, and they're doing awesome things for what to help me either look into it or actually just go and do it. For businesses, I don't know what that looks like yet, because it might exist, but I don't have access to that at the moment. So that's where I get excited over it, and that's what I can't wait to see coming out and being just much more widely used and widely available.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that mission, empowering and educating small businesses to make more use of their hard-earned cash.
Yeah.
Now, that's long-term mission. That's where we're going to get to.
Yeah.
But let's take it a little bit shorter term. Next year, what do you hope to achieve as Money Squirrel, but also through the Ignite program?
So over the next year, I think that I'd like to anyway, I hope that for the last year, looking backwards a little bit, for the last year, we've been doing all of the prep and the background and the research and the getting everything together, and it's in 1,000,001 different documents and places and in my head and all sorts of places now. And short term, we're going to be consolidating all of that and just really building foundations off the back of that. So that's what I see more of for the next year. I don't know exactly what those foundations will look like yet. I've got a decent idea, and that's how I kind of see the next 12 months going.
Okay. A lot more consolidation and foundation, so you're ready to reach that mission.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, let me put the same question just a little bit differently. let's say, and we'll try and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we're sitting here in a year's time, we're having this interview.
Yeah.
Imagine you are Andreea a year in the future.
Yeah.
What are you going to be saying to me?
Do you remember the really awesome launch event that we had?
Oh, I do.
How much fun
amazing.
was that?
Yeah.
What a great way to celebrate the milestone that was going live. I can't wait to say that. I really can't. I can't wait to have a date that we can work towards for that. So I really do hope to be saying that in a year. And I'd love for this to come true. Whether in a year or not, I'm not sure. But I would love to be saying, oh, hey, how amazing is my sister as part of the team? And it would be great to have the team, whatever that looks like. Maybe in a year there'll be 5 of us.
Yeah. There's a small team. We've had the launch.
Yeah.
We're out in the market.
We've got the foundations now.
Yeah.
What next?
And we're helping those
and
businesses.
we know what next looks like then.
Amazing. That's brilliant. Okay. That's Money Squirrel. That's where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Let's park that for a moment. Let's forget about Shift, forget about Woodhurst, forget about Ignite, forget about Money Squirrel. Gosh, I forgot how many brands there were involved in this. forget about all of them. The financial services industry as a whole. What new innovations, what new changes are exciting to you?
I might be able to answer that in more detail when I'm back from the Web Summit in Lisbon. So it's my first time going, and I'm actually really excited. So I hope that it's as awesome as everyone makes it out to be. And I do really want to see some innovations in there. The only answer I can give you to this question is seeing the gap that at least I see between what's possible right now with open banking and what's commercially available, which is what we've kind of been working through for the last few months. Tech projects, right? I've been managing tech projects for nearly a decade. I know how they go. That's why I don't commit to a date yet, because it's a tech project and we'll see what comes out in the wash. But it's been very different to what I expected, because we did so much research and prep into, yes, everything that we need to do is absolutely possible through open banking. But then putting it into commercial practice is a very, very different thing entirely. And I see that as a gap. And I'm hoping that the push becomes more of a push to really get the institutions, the banks, the building societies and the government really pushing that out, instead of just kind of going, yeah, we'll see how it goes, which is how at least it comes across at the moment. And bridging the gap that I see between, yes, it's possible, we can actually market this now. We can actually get this out and being used.
That's a very good point. And I'm definitely one that's been guilty of, most of the conversations are filled around what's the art of possible of open banking. It's always, what we should be able to do now. But then as soon as you go to do it, or you go to a third-party provider, or you try and get an AISP license yourself, which is quite a process, it's, delivering on this, actually getting it to consumers is tough.
Yeah.
We have less than 20% adoption rate in the UK of open banking. You look internationally, places like Brazil and India, who started way after us, are above 70%. Yeah,
it's wild.
It's completely different market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really resonate with that point, especially in the UK. Okay, that's awesome. That's Money Squirrel. That's the industry as a whole. Now, for those of you that have stayed tuned, how can the audience help you? How can we help Money Squirrel on the mission to empower and educate small businesses?
I find it easier offering help and asking how, or looking for ways to help others. So this isn't the easiest, most comfortable question to answer, I suppose. But whether it's that they love what they're hearing and that they want to reach out, LinkedIn, come and see me at events. I'm fairly active now, especially in London. Like I really like it when people would be like, oh, hey, I've seen what you're doing. I do that enough to others and it's great. If you're geeky enough and want to geek out, I'm always up for a geeky chat. I love hearing what other people are doing anyway. So genuine ask there. And if you happen to either know of businesses, companies that could partner, or potentially, someone in your network that might find this amazing and want to invest, that will all be useful. But honestly, just stick a big thumbs up on a LinkedIn post and it will still be amazing, because it's all a, genuine engagement, and it helps when you're not marketing specialist.
Yeah, just connecting with people. That's brilliant. Yeah. Well, hopefully catch you at a future Shift event, and I'm sure you'll be there as well, so people can pull in and be like, wow, amazing stuff you're doing. But again, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm really excited to start the Ignite program with you.
Me too. Thanks for having me.